Alexander Karelin is in the conversation for the most dominant athlete of all time, let alone the most dominant grappler. In his 14-year career, during which he won 3 Olympic golds and 9 world titles, he lost twice. His first bout and his last bout, famously against Rulon Gardner on a technicality at the Sydney Olympics in 2000. In between those 2 losses, he racked up an incredible 887 consecutive victories. Nicknamed The Experiment, he stood 6 feet 3 tall at a lean 285 pounds, presumably with some help from the Soviet extracurriculars. There's a lot of myth around his training numbers, but supposedly he was able to bench press close to 450 pounds, squat close to 600 pounds, and Zercher deadlift over 600 pounds. All of these numbers are totally believable given his size and the ease with which he was able to pick up 300 pounds of resisting human being off of the mat. Bear in mind that this guy retired in 2000, so there's not a ton of training footage available, and most of it looks like it was filmed with a potato. Nonetheless, I wanted to honor the Greco GOAT by talking about his training. Given his Soviet background, it's no surprise that this guy's training in the 80s and 90s was better than many elite grapplers today. The Soviets literally wrote the book when it comes to sports science. You can see a massive emphasis on the posterior musculature in his exercise selection. Lats, biceps, forearms, erectors, all the prime movers of Greco Roman wrestling, where guys stand in a relatively tall stance and they're always digging for underhooks and body locks, then using a ton of spinal flexion and rotation to lift and throw opponents. Despite the emphasis on specificity, you can still see an effort to train a broad base of more general physical qualities, ranges of motion, and different movements through things like kettlebell presses, leg presses, and I'm guessing, based off of these clips, gymnastics and cross-training through other sports like basketball, which can be useful in providing the foundation upon which more specific qualities are later built. His conditioning is like something out of Rocky IV. Running in the snow in Siberia, log carries, partner carries, bands, and even some bike thrown in for some good measure. These are all smart options for stimulating the cardiovascular system while limiting the forces the musculoskeletal system is exposed to, particularly when you're as big as Karelin was. Where's the bad in this program? Well, the only thing that I could pick up on was a clip where it was mentioned that later in his career, he would never go over 140 kilos on the bench press due to a pec tear when maxing out in his younger years. Was it load? Was it recovery? Was it exercise selection? Who knows? But from what I can tell, it's the lone blemish in an otherwise spotless training career. I couldn't even find anything ugly about his training that I didn't like. If anything, I think Karelin's training is a lesson in just how little equipment or technology you need to train at an elite level for grappling. He used the training tools and facilities that he had available to him at the time, and he paired it with smart scientific training. I would rate this training program an A.